Hey folks, this is Gene from Regular Guy Mountain Biking, and this evening I've got a good friend on the line with me, Griff Wigley, and we're going to talk about all kinds of great things in the world of mountain biking. All right, folks. Hey, this is Gene again from Regular Guy Mountain Biking, and tonight I have the pleasure of speaking to Griff Wigley. Griff, thanks so much for joining me tonight on Bike Chat.
You're welcome, Gene. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks so much.
This is a good first experience for me to be interviewed like this, so at least with my mountain bike helmet on.
Okay, yeah, no, because I try to do a little due diligence, and you're all over the place, my friend. So I think you've been on interviews before. This isn't the first rodeo for you, man. So, folks, here's the deal. We have a mutual friend, Ryan Leach, and I had done some work with Ryan and watched some of his courses and things like that. And I saw that Griff was actually in some of his courses, and there was a connection there. And I'm like, I got to talk to this guy. One of the reasons why is because he goes by the nickname the Mountain Bike Geezer. So I can say that because that's the name he likes to go. It's his tag name, so I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm like, this guy has got to be so cool to talk to. I really want to get to know him. And again, he was cool enough to jump on the call with me tonight.
So my kids started calling me a geezer after I turned 50. So
oh, no.
It took me about 5 years to embrace it.
Yeah.
Then when I got into mountain biking, it was like, okay, I could trot that out. Nobody else would own up to it. So yeah. It works. It's kind of my moniker.
It works, dude. It got my attention. I'm like, this is so cool. And one of the reasons why it worked is because, okay, so look, I'm 45 years old. Okay, so things ache a little more than they did before, and things like that, and that's life, whatever. But I've watched a number of your videos, and without trying to get too far, and you're good. You really are quite good, Griff. I've watched what you do. No one would know what age you're at because you've got some very good skills, and I'm very impressed. I'm actually a bit in awe, kind of like. This is a person that I'm looking at as a guy that's an example to me that's going to say I can actually keep doing this for a while. And so again, I'm not trying to be too gushy over here, but really, I mean, for a guy that's starting to get a little aches and pains, and then I'm watching what you're doing, I'm thinking, yeah, there's actually a little bit of hope left in me over here. Thank goodness.
Well, thank you, Gene. Some of it is luck, just to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I just turned 67. And so to be as active as I am, some of it is just pure luck of the draw. It's like, okay, I got somewhat good genes. But I think for me, it's partly what drives me to stay in shape and to ride is just feeling passionate about the sport. I've only done it for 5 years.
Really?
Yeah, I started when I was 62. But there's a caveat there. I competed in motorcycle trials for decades. Okay, so for people that don't know, it's a slow speed balance sport. Bicycle trials, probably people know of. Motorcycle trials, same thing. So I'd done that for many decades, and it was just kind of a fluke. One of my sons who was into mountain biking said, "Dad, take my mountain bike and go up this big mountain bike park. Cuyuna is opening up in central Minnesota," and I went up there, and my life changed in a weekend. So I sold my motorcycles and bought a mountain bike the next day, and got really into it. So I people, it's not that I'm such an amazing specimen. I had a lot of decades of two-wheel balance.
Gotcha.
Competition at a club level.
Okay.
And it took me maybe a little more than a year to sort of have some of those same skills transfer over.
Yeah.
So it's in terms of the skills, that was kind of the sort of the first step. Was like, wow, I can do some of these things. The first thing I discovered that I was good at was skinnies, and hardly anybody else was any good at skinnies.
I always fall off those damn logs.
Cool, I can make this transfer over and make a name for myself by falling off skinnies and cleaning high
Cleaning.
ones, you know. Anyway, so I think that's part of it. It's a
Hmm.
little bit unusual circumstances, and the
Hmm.
fact that I took care of a low back problem that I
Okay.
had when I was just a little bit older than you.
Hmm.
It took me 10 years to kind of figure out what I needed to do,
Okay.
and since then it's been really pretty good. And because I love mountain biking right now, I'm not a very disciplined person, but
Hmm.
pain has a way of motivating me,
Does.
and so I'm pretty disciplined about my little routines that I do with yoga,
Hmm.
body core, kettlebells, just to keep me able to do the
Hmm.
things that I want to do and keep doing. So
Gotcha. Well, yeah. I mean, I was gonna say, thank goodness you just told me you have that other training behind you. Because if you just told me you've only done this for 5 years and you started when you're 62, and I've watched you when you had that one video where you rolled over that one log and then you try to do it again in the snow and you're doing all this stuff, and I'm like, this guy's only been riding for
yeah.
5 years. What the hell am I doing wrong? I mean, that's not good, Griff.
Well, and
All right,
actually, I
good.
mean, the kettlebell exercises that I learned from James Wilson, who's
Okay.
somebody else you might consider at some
Hmm.
point interviewing,
Bike
but
James, that's Bike James, right?
Bike James,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's got great stuff.
mountain bike
Yeah.
strength training systems. So I paid for a couple of his things, and one
Mhm.
of the ones that I've stuck with for 3 years now is his 3 kettlebell exercises for mountain bikers.
Great.
And I do those 3 times a week, and I can't prove it, but it
Hmm.
seems like I'm pretty resistant to crashing. So
That's great.
I do a couple things. I armor up. So one of the
Yeah.
things you can do with when you're a geezer like
Hmm.
me, you don't have to worry too much about how you look. So a lot of the younger guys don't like to wear a lot of protective gear.
Right.
I'm always wearing protective gear, and it kind of helps me mentally
Hmm.
to practice. It's like, okay, I'm going to try this thing. I don't really have to worry about falling in the rocks because I got my elbow pads on, I got my knee pads on,
Right.
I wear some padded shorts, protect
Hmm.
my tailbone,
Hmm.
and so I'm always willing to try stuff
Right.
because I know chances are when I fall, I'm not going to bruise or whatever.
Hmm.
I know I can get hurt. I've broken ribs, um, but for the most part, that puts me in a mental frame of mind.
That's
It's
smart.
like I feel good. Why not act like I'm young?
Well, it's working, right?
It's
That's
working, yeah.
awesome. Well,
Who knows for how long? I figure I'm grateful right now. So
not gonna jinx anything. You're doing awesome, and that's just. I mean, so folks, the guy's got certifications as a mountain bike instructor. He's accomplished that as well.
yeah,
Um,
and actually, that part of it grew out of wanting to teach for my local mountain bike club where I live here, teach
mhm.
kids and adults. But I've learned in other disciplines that one of the great ways of really learning something is forcing yourself to have to teach it to other
Yeah.
people. So those 2 courses were probably the hardest thing I've ever done really
Hmm.
since college. Um, I had to study, I had to memorize stuff. I memorized. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, you know. So it was really a stressful
Hmm.
experience. Both of them were 3-day training things, but I got through it, and it was like, okay, I can do this. I
Yeah.
I got the skills. I know how to teach now a little
Hmm.
bit, and it's a great way of learning.
Well, to take that one step further for the folks that are watching, um, let's take a look at two different type of riders. Let's take a look at the brand new rider, and then the a little bit more advanced rider. If you
Okay.
had those two categories, what would be some I don't even want to call them tricks, because when you're out there riding, I don't think it's a trick. It's more of a technique to maneuver out there. What would be some things that people should be focusing in on and learning more about in those two? If we go for beginner first, what would be a good way to get going to useful techniques to help you through the trails?
Yeah, for a beginner, I think the fear is the main thing, and so people
Good point.
kind of lock on to, I don't want to get hurt.
Hmm.
I don't know what I'm doing. and they have a hard time having fun.
Mm-hmm.
So really the first thing I try and do with beginners is give them just enough basic skills so that they can experience the whoop-de-doo feeling, because that's the
Yeah.
big motivator. It's like, oh, that was so
That was
cool
so cool.
to go around that turn, to go over that little dip, to
That's awesome.
get over a small log.
Mm-hmm.
And so once they do that with a feeling of confidence, just a little bit of confidence, just enough so that they can go, oh, then they're hooked.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
that's really it. So, there's both IMBA and PMBI were really good about sort of saying to people, okay, or teaching us about these fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
There's, one of them has 5 fundamentals, the other has 10 fundamentals, but basically it's giving people just enough so that they can think about that fear fun factor.
That's smart.
And finding the place right in the middle, where it's kind of a sweet spot, and
Mm-hmm.
as soon as possible having them experience that.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So for the people who've been in it for a while,
Mm-hmm.
they're typically motivated by some kind of frustration.
Mm-hmm.
I ride with my buddies and they all can get over this log pile and I can't.
Yeah.
And so I feel bad. I get
Mhm.
left behind.
Right.
And there also is, I've crashed really hard. I separated my shoulder. I broke my collarbone. My knee has, slices in it. So they're in a place similar to the beginner rider, only they've really experienced it.
Right.
But the passion is still there,
Mm-hmm.
but the fear is generally weighing heavily, and right along with the frustration.
Right.
So for those people, you kind of pick, okay, what's the one thing? If I was coaching somebody, or if they were in a clinic, what's really the one thing you want to achieve that would kind of get you back in a better mental frame of mind?
I see.
Now, they might say, big logs. I can't get over big logs. Okay. Well, as a coach, you don't right away go to big logs in your own mind with them. You want to look at all their other fundamentals.
Mhm.
What's their body position, their balance, how tight or loose are their hands. There's a whole realm of things that you kind of go, their
Gotcha.
fundamentals need work here, here, and here. And if they can get in a better place with those fundamentals, their chances of them
Makes sense.
being able to do what I'm going to teach them to get over a big log
Mhm.
is much better. And you don't necessarily say that.
Mhm.
You kind of take them where they're at and say, all right, the first step you have to learn for going over a big log is this.
Right.
And so that's the motivation. You got to find kind of a hook where people really want to improve,
Mhm.
but in the back of your mind, you're going, I'm going to sneakily work with them on these 5 fundamentals so that, surprise, when they do get over that log, then they also can use those fundamentals to use it in another realm, for going through a rock garden, or for tight turns, or fast corners, berm corners, flat corners, whatever it is. So that's kind of the secret sauce of I think what I'm hoping to be as a good instructor.
Gotcha. Well, I've used some of your fundamentals, folks. That I'll try to get it on the screen, but it'll definitely be in the description. You can go to mountainbikegeezer.com and sign up to on the newsletter, the email, and then
My
Griff,
email newsletter. Yep.
and then you send out. I forgot how. I think it was a 6-stage. I don't remember how many stage it was, but it's a course on light hands, heavy feet.
Light hands, heavy feet.
Yeah, I love it.
I got that phrase from Lee McCormick at Lee Likes Bikes, and it just kind of clicked with me. He talked about it a little bit, but it was like, okay, I can't just do that. I need steps to get there. So I just kind of concocted this video series. So when people sign up for the free email newsletter, I feed them over the course of 12 days, 6 different light hands, heavy feet lessons. So,
I love the little comments after each one, like, you better watch this.
Yeah.
Be there, and you hit your head.
Get out there.
Yeah, get out. It's just, I'm like laughing. But
Get this through your thick skull.
that's
right?
one of them. I got to find that one. I got to get that soundbite.
Until you get it through your thick skull.
But I keep that in the back of my head. In fact, I was riding with my cousin over the weekend, and I was literally telling him about that, because we were going down a pretty steep section, and I go, Mike, look, it's all about keeping your lower center of gravity. Like, you want to be down low, and everything up here has got to be loose. Even that one video you showed where, can you have loose, light hands and grip the handlebars tight? And it was like a contradiction, but it worked. I remember watching that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was and that actually came from a user, because I was, developing the videos, and I went up to Cuyuna, and I went down this really fast, bumpier than I thought, flow trail, and trying to keep light hands, and suddenly my bars almost went out from under my hands, and I thought, this can't be right.
This is not going to end well for Griff.
Yeah,
no.
It's not going to end well. So it forced me to figure out. But that came from a user who said, the more you get into a more extreme ready position, you can grip hard, but you're not pressing down. Anyway, go ahead.
No, but I use that now. I mean, it's not even as much using it as mentally. I'm kind of thinking it. I'm trying to think, okay, look, keep it down low, keep this, it's because a lot of it was just, practicing where I did a little video myself on me doing some of the practices, doing the circles, drills. The drills. And it's just something you kind of get, you want to have it in the back. So it becomes like muscle memory, motor memory, like it just kind of happens, and it makes a lot of sense. And so I do try to follow some of that stuff. But you've also got something else going on right now that you want to help people with. I think you're doing something on Facebook or something like that. I want to make sure we tell some of the folks about where you're going with this and what you're offering people to kind of keep them up to speed and have them take this passion to the next level.
Sure, yeah. Well, you had mentioned Ryan Leach. So I'm what Ryan calls an ambassador. I'm one of 6 or 8 people who are in his online community who've gone through a bunch of his courses, and we're in there helping other people with our own experience and answering questions and stuff. So I've been kind of affiliated with Ryan for a while. But one of the things I also have with him is a affiliate arrangement. So he's got a ton of different courses as well as a membership site. So I'm so sold on it, I've asked him to be a marketing affiliate, so I get a small commission. But one of the things I wanted to do was create a community of people who are interested in mountain bike skills development, and be able to draw from all sorts of instructors. In other words, Ryan's not the only guy out there doing stuff. There's a lot of other ones. So I've created a free private Facebook community called Mountain Bike Skills Network. Anybody can ask to join it. And in there, we are talking about all sorts of skill-related stuff and links to all sorts of instructors online. There's a bunch of instructors actually in the community. So we'll be having guest experts come in for a week or for a live session.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And for me, the motivation then is, and I invite everybody else once a month, anybody else who has a skill-related thing to let people know about that they're selling. Okay, it's promotion week. So I promote, and Lee McCormick can promote, and James Wilson can promote. And anybody who's got something to sell that's skill-related gets a post in there. And then it's cool because we've done this once now, and they're willing to kind of give back. They get to do the free promotion, but they're talented people, and they're hanging out in the community. So I'm trying to grow that, and we've got, we're probably 160 or 70 people right now. I admit people one at a time, greet them. I kind of moderate with a iron fist, so civility is high. There's no snarkiness. So I would invite people to.
What would be the method? Like what?
If you go to mountainbikeuser.com, you'll see a link on my menu up at the top that says Mountain Bike Skills Network on Facebook, and you just click that and you're in.
Perfect. Yeah, and I know I'm in it, but I don't remember how I got into it. So
Yeah.
I clicking on something, but I got in there, and there is a lot of great
I
content.
dragged you in there by your hair, Gene.
I know. Get into that forum, Gene. There you go. I love it, man. No, it's cool. I just want to let you know that, I mean, I've only found you for a little while, and I'm already using some of your tips. I mean, you really are helping a lot of people, because I had mentioned you to a couple friends that subscribe to Regular Guy Mountain Biking, and they're like, oh, yeah, no, I know that guy. I've been following him for a while. So you are really affecting a lot of people in the world of mountain biking that have the same kind of love and passion for the sport. And I just wanted to kind of relay that back to you, because it's not like people all of a sudden pick up the phone and call them up, and you don't really always know if it's working or not, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
But it is, because I just mentioned it out of the blue, so that's kind of cool to know.
And it's fun for me to give back, and like anything in life, I feel like people have given back to me, and so it's kind of fun to pass it on. And I'm not getting rich on this. I'm starting to make more than beer money.
There you go. Well, good. Then you can buy me the beer then. There we go.
I still have a day job, and but I'm motivated. I'm having fun, and Ryan Leach has been great to work with, and and now I got a little community. So the community is really inspiring me back, like you would expect. But it's been a good thing all around.
Well, it's been cool. It's also been awesome talking to you tonight. I'm hoping that maybe we can do another one of these when we get, like, right now it's winter over here. I see it's winter with you too. I watched a couple of you. So we're all freezing our thingamabobs off. But it would be nice to maybe do one in the spring to talk about, okay, look, weather's clearing up. Let's talk about some things to get ready back into shape, and what to do, and how to get back in. I mean, actually in New Jersey it's raining outside, so I don't even know what I'm talking about. We're going riding on Saturday, but it'd be fun to do something like this again, because I really enjoyed talking to you. There's a bunch of stuff I want to talk to you offline, a ton of things, but they don't want to talk about it right now.
Okay.
But this has been really cool.
I'd be happy to be back on the show, Gene.
That'd be awesome. Well, look, folks, Griff, thank you very, very, very much. I've been looking forward to this. Thanks for also being flexible around the time. I was able to get him on. We changed this a couple times, and he was cool enough to hook up with me. Hook up with him, folks. I will put all his links in the description if I didn't show it to you already. Just a really good guy, nice guy to become friends with, and I'm really, really happy I got to meet you, my friend.
Thanks, Gene.
All right, catch you later. Yeah, good night, folks. Bye-bye, everybody. Good night.
I'll see you over there.